All right then, hello. We have Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. I am Fantastic on Saberwolf in this semifinals tournament race of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Battle Royale. Saberwolf, want to tell us what we're going to be watching?
So today we do have four runners. We're going to be running, so we are going to have two people in the background. So actually, I'm going to run. I got to run their seed first. So if you want to talk about what we're expecting for the for different flags, because this week the flags do change a little bit.
Yes, that is absolutely true. In this semifinals race of the Worlds Collide Battle Royale tournament, we are looking for, as you see on the bottom of your screen, 9 espers, 6 characters, and, well, no dragons, though there are 8 dragons in this seed. We'll be looking for both runners to pick up the required 6 and 9 to progress to Kefka's Tower, where they will, of course, take on Evil Kefka and win the race. This is, as Saberwolf mentioned, a 4-way race. We will be highlighting Zelfer85 and Hashmalum, though there is also Doesn't and Dr. DT, two very talented Worlds Collide runners, two excellent members of the Final Fantasy VI World community, and two of the 4 racers who have done very, very well to make it to this Battle Royale semifinal. We have Zelfer85, for example, on your left, who won every single round in the Inferno pod, the one of 7 pods to begin the Battle Royale. Made it through that, averaging only 1 hour, 29 minutes, 52 seconds per race. A sub-90 minute time, pretty good. Did finish second in the 7-way quarterfinal race to make it here to the Final 4 in the semifinal. And then who has also had a very, very strong Battle Royale tournament. Made it in 4th in the 7-way, and again, survived the Goddess pod, one of the statue bosses. So excited to see both these runners run this seed, which is a little harder than your standard Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race.
Yeah, so these flags are definitely have been challenging our runners. I believe we started with, gosh, I think we started with how many 30 something runners for this, and we've boiled it all the way
It was
down to
7
4.
pods to 5.
It was 35, so it was close. So we went from 35 runners down to 4. So the 2 runners we are going to have on stream tonight are Zelfer and Hashmalum. Zelfer has been winning every single round from the Inferno pod. Zelfer has averaged only 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 52 seconds overall. But that perfect first place streak was snapped this past week during the quarterfinals, where he finished second, moving on to the semifinal. We also have Hashmalum, who will be racing on screen, as you were mentioning about from the Goddess pod, which is one of the statues. He's been averaging 1 hour, 33 minutes, 19 seconds. He managed to battle his way out of the pod, beating our current Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide standard seed runner, Drulith, who currently holds the world record at 1 minute, 8 seconds. Hashem was able to beat him and managed to pull out a 4th place finish in our quarterfinal. Where our runners are currently getting ready to reset their streams like now. Before we
Setting their
get
menus
this
to exactly how they like it. Important to have menu preference.
Yep, and as soon as our racer's all ready up, we'll be starting this race. The 2 other runners we don't have being shown today, that will be Dr. DT and Doesn't. Dr. DT was actually our first place finisher last week to move on to out of that 7-way battle royale that we had before. He had a little bit of a stumble in the 3rd round coming out of the spicy chicken pod. But has since then finished 1st place in every single round since then in 4th, 5th, and 6th weeks. He's been averaging 1 hour 40 minutes and 20 seconds per round. And last but not least, who also will have racing these two on screen will be Doesn't. Doesn't qualify third overall in the first round at a placement stage. He's been cruising through that Guardian pod that he was in, recording the fastest time in the entire tournament at under 1 hour and 14 minutes. Twice. They've been averaging 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 20 seconds overall, and Doesn't has finished first in every single round, except for this past week where he finished third in the quarterfinal. So
Just a
those,
blisteringly fast time. All
yeah,
very, very
yeah, that is
impressive
5 minutes
performances.
faster than our fastest next fastest runner, which is Zelfer, who will be on the left side of the screen. So I will be checking in to our racers here to see if we are ready to go.
Meanwhile, as you currently see on your screen, unlock Final Kefka. Recruit 6 characters, find 9 espers. As I mentioned before on the bottom of your screen, that is, of course, the goal. We start with 3 characters, 0 espers. So we need 6 and 9 to enter Kefka's Tower, or we can skip straight to the boss gauntlet at the end with either 9 characters or 12 espers, in addition to the unlock Final Kefka objective. And then there are also a handful of bonus objectives, like the Dragoon set, which you win if you set the Zozo clock, which, like so many things in our Worlds Collide randomizer, is randomized. You do actually have to talk to the thieves and figure out how to unlock the puzzle. And in addition to that, you can find an Illumina sword if you complete some time-consuming objectives. So a few fun bonuses as we progress through this seed. It'll be interesting to see what sort of race we get. Obviously, in the Worlds Collide randomizer, things can get a bit random. Could be a very fast time, like those ones we mentioned, or could be a required Leet River, Kefka at Narsh thrill ride.
Yeah, no kidding. And also, there's one other new flag that's been triggered. Well, there's two. Last week we saw the first time plus 10 levels to the boss. Did that really change anything for you? Because you're in this race last week. You finished 5th, unfortunately. But did that really change anything for the early stages of the race where the boss is being extra 10 levels?
It changes the progression of the seed a little bit, definitely. Just sorry, yeah, question in chat about, again, objectives A and B on your screen. The primary goal of the game is to get 6 characters and 9 espers to enter the final dungeon, Kefka's Tower. Kefka's Tower itself is a gigantic mega dungeon, and if you collect either 9 characters or 12 espers, you unlock the KT Skip, which skips you to sort of the end game of Kefka's Tower, which is the boss gauntlet, which saves a bit of time, but obviously requires a more larger commitment in characters or espers on the Kefka's Tower.
Now there's one other flag, one major flag that was just triggered besides the fact that the gold has halved again, going all the way down to, I believe it's at 2,500 to start with. So we went from all the way from a very rich over 10,000 gold now down to 2,500, barely enough to buy really a couple potions and maybe a sleeping bag or two. But there's one other major flag that has been triggered. That is the normalize and distort. So what exactly does that mean?
The shorter answer is it's going to make bosses a little harder, or maybe just longer, sort of randomly. Normalize Distort is a flag set you can set to alter the boss's stats, or hit points, basically attack power, based more on your linear progression. So it can make early bosses hit with the strength of a late game boss, the famous, leader boss, knocking out a party member with axe attack. Though it can also sort of bang later game bosses, because it does tend to normalize, but also distort boss stats.
All right, and our 1 minute flag has gone up, so we're 1 minute away from racing time. So once again, we do have 2 other runners. We do have 4 runners here to do this race. So these 2 you see on the screen. The top 2 move on, of course, to our final next week. So let's hope for the best and good luck to our runners here.
I am pretty high. I'm ready to get this going. This is the Battle Royale semifinal race. We have Zelfer and Hashmalum. It's going to be a good one.
All right, timer is down 20. All right, 10-second flag is up for our runners now. The race will be beginning in 10 seconds. Of course, there could be a little delay, so it's going to be another 15, 20 seconds before we actually see some action.
Well, so from some final pre-race thoughts, Saberwolf,
Mhm.
what are you most excited about as we kick off this semifinal race?
Oh, what I'm most excited about that we have got the cream of a crop of our runners. We do a lot of community races. So if you want to join our community, you can. So those small six races are not so serious, kind of funny, kind of crazy little races that we do. But these are the cream of the crop, like fastest runners we have in our communities. So this is going to be some exciting and fast racing that we're going to have for install for everyone.
All very true, as we are just about to kick it off.
And don't mind my kids in the background. Okay, it looks like Hash is up
And
and
we're off.
running,
There
and
we go.
Zelfer should be going in just a second here.
Strago, Umaro, Cyan are our three starting characters in this seed.
It would not be a battle royale race if it wasn't for Strago being in the party to start this thing.
Old man Strago has Blitz, no less. That's fun.
And Cyan has
boy.
natural magic as well. Not the person you want to see natural
well-
magic on, as they have the worst magic ratio.
Very true.
But Umaro's
And of
start
course,
isn't
Umaro
too
the
bad.
Yeti, Umaro the best Yeti character in Final Fantasy VI.
He is best Yeti. So a quick little Narsh start here for our runners. Pretty much the first about 10 to 15 minutes of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. There's a randomizer for Final Fantasy VI or 3, depending on which version you do. The first about 10 to 12 minutes, because we do have a lot faster runners in our community here, like we mentioned, will be about looting and just trying to get some basic items, because all your characters start with the bare bones of what you find them in the original game, which is the equipment's not that great except for Yeti. Yeti does start with a bone club and a snow scarf, which is very, very nice to have. So Yeti really in the early stages is really, really strong, even at level 3, because everybody's pretty much hitting with melee. You don't really have much for skills, although Strago does have Blitz. But yeah, the first about 10 minutes is about getting some loot, getting some items on these characters before they set out into the world.
Very true. And there has been some fun loot already as they explore the open world of this Worlds Collide rando. Finding an ice shield, an elemental shield, is always a fantastic find. Protects you from ice magic and fire magic, and also teaches ice too, so something great to find. Atma weapon, one of the very unique and powerful endgame swords. So fun stuff off that. But yes, Saberwolf, as you mentioned, the first chunk of Worlds Collide will be cracking up with some chests. For example, the Blizzard Orb for the Yeti in the party.
Oh yeah, Blizzard Orb, which can be good and bad. For every time I ever grab it, it's the Yeti seems to have I seem to run into things like Tritouch, who absorbs
Hello,
ice magic.
Soul, and goodbye,
Oh, hello.
Soul on Hashmalum's screen. Finding the very challenging but very rewarding Katana Soul Monster in a Box encounter in the Narsh tutorial house. So that's a good find. Always keep that in his back pocket when he wants to pick up the offering relic.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to reset out of that. The boss is a little bit too strong at this point, at this stage of the game. So you kind of have to say nope on that one to start here. We will be keeping track of our two runners also as well, Doesn't and Dr. DT. So we'll keep an eye on them as well, let you know of any major things that happen on their screens.
Absolutely. As Zelfer is exploring, looks like ruined South Figaro, finding a hero ring and an elixir. So, two very nice finds off the bat. Will, of course, be interesting to see once this initial round of exploration and treasure opening is where they go. With Strago in the party, you love that fiery burning house opening play.
I knew you were going to mention that.
As well as a Force Shield and Genji Glove. Burning House,
Oh.
sometimes it's play.
Taking the underground tunnel for Zelfer. That's an interesting move. It does put you across the map in position to grab the item here and then jump up the stairs to the item shop. Okay, I guess you're not going to the item shop. You're just going to cut back through to the weapon shop instead.
It is a very swaggy play. And as again, we mentioned off the bat, these are two extremely talented Final Fantasy runners. So we're going to see, really the cream of the crop working through this exciting semifinal race.
That is a Thunder Shield in the armor shop of South Figueroa, World of Balance, I believe. Just a tad short. It needs another about 3,000 more gold. Yeah, name card's not going to get you there. It's only about 8 gold. Really doesn't want to sell these high magic power items. Oh, he's going to have to trade in the Hyper Wrist to try to get that shield.
Picking up an elemental shield, though, is almost never the wrong call, particularly early on when you don't have one. With an ice shield and a thunder shield now in the inventory, teaching those level 2 elemental spells, offering those protections, that really makes you much more comfortable taking on some early bosses and some burning houses, question mark?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's World of Ruin. My bad. I was all for World of Ruin for that one.
Yeah, Zelfer was in World of Ruin South Figaro.
Actually, both are.
Sometimes South Figaro is Stack Figaro.
Yeah,
That's why it is such a common early check. It's just that good.
Fortunately, we do not have Edgar in the party, which give us the discounts there. So it's an unfortunate thing to have, not to be able to start with. So yeah, let's talk about our character starts here. So if you were starting with this set with Cyan, Strago, and Yamaru, where would you go first?
I would think about the strengths of these party members. Umaru's just got the ruined Narsh check. Strago infamously has some pretty garbage checks in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. I think he gets a little too much flack. The old man can hold his own in the party if you get him at the right time. But has the Burning House, which is taking on a series of fixed encounters, which could be anything. Could what it all could actually be quite lucrative in terms of early experience, or could be level X enemies that you just have to run away from, and then has a boss fight at the end without a save. Also has Ebbett's Rock, not the most popular check. Has Cyan, who actually has some pretty decent stuff. Maybe an early trek up Mount Zozo could be the play. Does not necessarily have an encounter. Also has the option for a dragon. Early dragon fights have been the play sometimes in this Battle Royale tournament, because the checks in this game, and thus the sort of hit point pool of the boss encounters, is scaled with how many checks you make in the game. Taking on difficult monsters at very low check counts makes them big glass cannons, can knock them out, and reap the rewards.
So Zelfer making an interesting move there by flying in the World of Balance and then switching to World of Ruin. That actually allows you to prevent you from going into the random Search the Skies check, which can get triggered by having Setzer in the party, but will randomly encounter if you're flying just through the air randomly in World of Ruins. That kind of actually prevents them from hitting that random check, not having to take the extra time to save, which takes a little bit longer, but traveling through the safe airspace, I guess you could say, that's World of Balance, in that airship.
Very true.
And one thing...
another example of these high skill racers has both maps in his head, can sort of navigate from one to the other with that possibility, that random chance of the Doomgaze encounter. Checking into Albrook now is Zelfer. Another very common early check as Hashmolm explores the basement of South Figaro.
And also, there is always an extra item down on the docks there that Zelfer just got, but you can only access that in World of Ruin, Albert. You cannot access that in World of Balance unless you have the Y remove flag on. That would also do that. So going back to the whole starting of where would you start, where would you want to start, is we got a free Regal crown out of the clock there. I guess we don't have to buy it in the shop back in South Figaro.
As well, but
what about the starting
at the end of South Figaro basement for Hash? Sorry,
That's nice
what were you
too.
saying?
About starting, personally, me, I would think about starting on leader and take out some of the soldiers trying to climb the walls from or sort of for some early levels. Get those quick fist encounters that you can control. And then you get those quick levels, then you hit the boss for the check 2 there. And then I would probably switch over to the rest of science checks, probably do Dream, try to get a bunch of espers to put on our characters, try to learn some things, and then maybe hit Mount Zozo on the backside to get maybe the dragon to boost my levels up even higher, and then try to plow through the seed from there. Is probably what I would do. But it looks like Zelfer is going to hit the Mount Zozo first that you mentioned, and maybe pick up that dragon fight a little bit early. It's going to be kind of tough. It doesn't really have many for abilities or spells or anything. Blitz, I think you only have his pummel at this point, as
Yeah, but again,
finds that
with
Thunder Shield.
Zero finding the Thunder Shield, also with that Flame Shield, Ice Shield. Hey, looking at the whole set is very comforting for both of these. That is really exactly what you want to find in the first 10 minutes or so of this race. Also an Aegis Shield on top of it. Pretty nice. Honestly, with this many elemental shields, it's not a bad idea to take on a dragon, simply because you'll probably have enough to detect at least one character and finish the fight. With these super low scaled dragons, they probably have like 2,000 hit points, and yeah, maybe a rod or a few pummels.
Or just breaking a shield, unfortunately. I mean, but sometimes you just have to do that. Just give you a quick update on from Doesn't He? Doesn't He has chosen to do the has doesn't. Alert. Oh, we got Terra. Terra is at Mount Zozo. That's our character number 4.
Full party for Zelfer, finding Terra. Always someone you want to find early on in a world's sort of the protagonist, at least of the first half of the game. Fantastic stats, great magic user, great equipment, inventories to choose from, as looks like Hashmalum is doing that leader check that you mentioned, Saberwolf.
Yep, he's going to do that leader check. Cool. I just want to get updates. Doesn't He has chosen to do Burning House as their first check, and Dr. DT is actually getting levels in World of Ruin Narsh, sitting outside the learners area, and that's where they're choosing to do their levels.
That's my favorite grind.
Yeah, because you have that healing bucket there, right?
The bucket.
Yeah.
Looks like Hashmalum will not find a character in this check, as we see Strago walk out. Looks like he is doing that big brain Doma Castle grind. See if he gets something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Now, I would only do this if you find some posters of some sort of basic small healing, because you do not have that option of that healing pot like outside of Narsh, like we just mentioned. As Zelfer is going to take quick advantage of having the Terra in the group, going into her treasure room in the base. We find some earrings, a couple of elixirs. We got a lot of money out of this already. The fake mustache, air anchor, although we don't have any tools, and Star's a good high weapon to use. So a pretty decent collection there. Now, no free checks.
Particularly because it's free. Yes, as you were about to mention, with the no free checks, we see Zelfer is not heading all the way through the sealed cave dungeon to do Terra's check, because all of the checks in this game will have to face a boss or some fight, with, I guess, some exceptions. Saberwolf, would you like to explain the no free checks flag?
Yeah, so no free
magic is not what you want to find.
Oh, goodness gracious, no, no, not good juju.
On the boss.
So no free checks thing is basically when you have that flag turned on, any free checks that don't really encompass like battles per se, Mount Zozo is one of the exceptions to the rule. But any checks that just walk in, for instance, Shadow's Gauss house check, or Setzer's cafe check, as Hashmalum goes into. Oh Jesus! Okay, so my idea is bad, very bad idea. Shame on me. So Hashmalum just pulled Goddess, who's one of the hardest characters in the game to fight. But we do have her at a very low level, so maybe we can get through this. We do have some Thunder Shields and stuff, so maybe we can absorb some of her damage. Thunder and water does not work on her. along with I think Holy as well, or Pearl for this game. I don't think
Yeah,
those.
just an aside,
Oh, we got
stacked
her.
Thamasa from Zelfer. Crack boom, Hash taking down the goddess statue.
So very
With
low
I think
levels, I guess
mainly
we're good.
GP Rain and Umaro. So the Yeti yeets the goddess. And that is a big boss taken down by Hash early on in this race. Gets, of course, the Excalibur sword for his troubles. And will hopefully get a
Come on,
Magisite
give
from
us an
this.
Esper out of that. Oh no, it's a dead check.
It's a Hash.
Damn.
Just a red hat. So
So
fun
going.
as Zelfer heads into Casa del Fuego to take on these, runs to a pincer encounter, which is annoying in fixed encounters.
Also, quick update: Desiny's actually
Goddess
taking on
dead check
Goddess
for
right
Hash.
now and does take her out. And apparently, Dr. DT is going up the World of Ruin Narsh Mountain. So yeah, going back to the whole no free checks. All free checks, like I said, the Setzer in the cafe, like the Shadow in the Gauss house, those are going to be automatically dead, but do count to progression. Now, sometimes you want to save before them because you might actually get a good item out of it, because you could get like a Thunder Shield or a Fire Shield, a Magus Rod, something you actually might need. Maybe even Fixed Ice, maybe even a Dragon Horn or Offering. But if the item doesn't to your liking, you want to save before, because unfortunately those free checks do count towards the increasing cap of the boss levels. As
As
Hashmalm is now
if we may cut in,
re-challenging
looks like,
the
yeah, Hash is
offering.
heading back to that Katana Soul fight that he found in the Narch tutorial house, taking down the Katana Soul. And it looks like those elemental shields paying off with this tier 2 elemental magic.
Well, I mean, he must be
Eddie doing
feeling
his
good about
worst.
himself because he beat Goddess. Like,
GP
I can beat
Rain,
Goddess. I can beat Katana Soul now.
you're not wrong. Definitely a boost to Hashmalum knowing he took down a very spicy boss very early on, as he also takes down Katana Soul. Will earn the offering relic as his reward, which is huge
That's
with that half
big.
a weapon find.
That'll be good on Cyan, because gold GP throw isn't that. It's good for early game, I guess. I guess if you have a lot of money. As the Strago is the king of England, apparently, with Excalibur. That's going to
Actually,
be just
very,
stats
very good
booster for
call out
them.
from chat. Katana Soul rewards the offering and a fat stack of cash.
Oh, big
A
O's.
very lucrative fight. Almost
Oh, I wonder if Zelfer
40K.
meant to do that. Zelfer choosing the wrong
First reward
door
in the Burning
forces
House.
an encounter fight here.
Perhaps looking for a different encounter pool rather than the sort of hermit crab batch of monsters that he was fighting throughout the Burning House, as Hashmalum is heading up the cliffs of Narsh in World of Ruin to do the Umaro check, the Tritok spot, and perhaps take on a dragon.
One good thing about doing these running and stuff like that is you want to find areas, depending what you have for characters in your group, you want to go into areas of the game that's going to have a big pool of checks. Right now, the big pool of checks is Cyan's Dream, or we actually, since we have Yeti in the party, we can climb the cliffs of Narsh as we're going to get our second dragon fight. Unfortunately, it's a dirty dragon. This is a kind of a harder dragon to fight. But this will give you a dragon fight, which will greatly increase your learning of spells and stuff if you have the elemental shields or espers, and a chunk of XP to get you supercharged the game as well. That will go in the Tritalk as wow, that was quick. Hashmallow taking out the dirty dragon
Early
there.
dragon goes down for Hash. We'll reap the rewards of that as Zelfa runs into Vanilla Flame Eater in the Burning House, munching on all those flame rods in Thamasa. Ice 2 from those elemental shields has Terra casting Ice 2 on Flame Eater. You know what's going to happen there. It's super effective. That's Flame Eater down, and that's Casa del Fuego down for Zelfer. We'll see what he earns from this Strago check.
Oh, and Hashmalum did pick up a Minerva off of the dragon, so if he gets that Terra, Terra's going to be very happy to have that armor. And that is a unicorn coming off of the Flame Eater and the Burning House. So that's the first Esper for Zelfer.
Yeah, Julith in chat saying, this is a Merton seed and a half. You're not wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Great protection. Strength +1 on that unicorn Esper.
And that's a Narapa, a Tri-Touch.
The Rappa. Will cast Condemn on your party. Has Innate Reflect, so don't cast those level 2 elemental spells at it. Just probably get the Yeti yeet on it for a little bit. Seeing that Blizzard Orb
Ooh.
in action, doing 4 digits of damage. Not bad in the first 20 minutes of this Worlds Collide race.
Yep. And going back to the whole two things. Actually, Zelford once again traveling in World of Balance before switching to World of Ruin to get to the Dream at Domus Castle to make sure not to get run into the Doomgaze random check. As Hashmalum also gets an Esper off the Tri-Touch check there as Shout. That is helpful in Tier 1 Kefka, so there'll be a welcome sight there. And that is carrying Berserk, so if we meet Magi Master, that's going to be a definite help against Magi Master. So that will greatly greatly help against in that fight, which is usually a tough fight. But like I mentioned before, as you want to go into areas that have big groups of checks. So we have the Dragon there, we have the Tri-Touch, and then we can combo that into the Yeti check. So we actually get kind of two and a half checks there where we can get a bunch of levels of Dragon and you get 2 checks mixed in with that. And we build up our
Meanwhile,
team, build up
as
the
Zelford takes on the
frequency very
first
fast.
boss here. Oh
Oh, and
no!
speaking of the
It's
Magi
the Magi
Master,
Master. This is not a
so
boss you ever want to find. This is especially not a boss you want to find in Cyan's Dream. This is a very rude location for a very difficult boss. Saber, why is the Magical Master such a magical pain?
Magi Master is constantly changing their weak point every time you hit them. And also, they cast very strong magic spells as well. And about halfway through the fight, they become more and more stronger against melee attacks. So melee attacks don't even work either. As we also have the everybody's favorite band, Haydn and the Haydenites for Hash Malum here.
Classic
And
hit and
that's a
swing band.
very
Hiding in the
confused Cyan, throwing some money at his party
Oh
and killing them
no!
both. And Haydn, of
Confused
course,
GP Rain
repossesses
taking out
your
the party.
yeah.
Will also be zombified. That is a reset from Hash in the end of the Yeti Cave. That is
That's
a
rough.
bummer of a reset. Yikes. Haydn really showing why he's an endgame boss. Of course, the vanilla boss of Ebbett's Rock.
Did he
Check
save
as
after doing
Zelfer's
Tri-Touch though?
Yeti takes
No,
down
he's got to do
Magi
Tri-Touch again.
Master.
Shoot, he's got to do Tri-Touch again though. And it's Raiden. Raiden's another good Esper for Final Kefka.
Yeah. Props to Zel for taking down Magi Master. Yeti was a huge part of that. Umaro is honestly someone you're happy to have for early bosses, earlier checks of difficult bosses, like Magi Master, honestly. Umaro is going to be great against Narapa again, as of course we've already seen, as Zelfer continues progressing through Cyan's Dream. I know we'll have to hope this Haydn fight goes a little better. That was a tough reset, but still early on, obviously, can happen.
And just a quick update, we have Dr. DT currently going through Dream. He's facing Magi Master right now. He's got 4 characters, 1 Esper, 1 Dragon. Doesn't has finished the Dream, is actually going to Magi Tower, believe it or not. Currently, they don't have a tracker, so I don't know what they have for makeup on there right now.
Well,
unless we have it on our
not a
tracker
surprise to
sheet.
see Cyan's Dream being checked by all of our runners. It is arguably the most efficient check in the game, offering 3 rewards for only 2 boss fights. And this is not a no free lunch check, so they all will more likely than not Esper.
Doesn't he has 3 characters, 1 Esper currently, I guess?
Chucking a Pearl Rod at Haydn would be an excellent play. Hash, of course, making the safety save, already knowing what he's getting into.
Our tracker in chat, Schwan, shout out to them saying, throwing money at your party and your friends is a real party. Thanks, Schwans. It's not a party to start throwing money at your friends. I don't know which party you're going to.
Well, I think it's really a showcase for GP Rain. I think a underappreciated command in the game. Doesn't get as much love as it deserves. It can come in clutch more often than you think. Of course, very deadly. Want to destroy your party, but is great against Magi Master, for example. Hash very much wanting to get this Edgar into his party as his 4th character, taking on Haydn again. We'll see how he fares as Zelfa runs into the Kefka fight.
Oh, that's not too bad. Kefka's really easy, weak to poison. in this form.
Weak to level 2 magic. Could be perhaps a bit here than otherwise would be with a normalize and distort flag on. Haven't seen that make too much of a difference as yet. Hide and casting missing. Poison on the
Oh
party does
boy.
confuse Strago.
Okay, well, Strago has Blitz, so...
Zelfer.
Oh.
Unfortunately, not a good fight for Umaro. The hide and fight, any fight with multiple targets, can be a pain when you can't control where your party members target.
Yeah, that is for sure. So this is going to be a bit of a hard fight for Hashmalum. I would actually, even though it is a character, Edgar was the one that stormed out of the hole, so this is a character check, and that would be their fourth character. As Hash does not have Terra, that is an extra Esper there for Zelfer on the throne there. And
Like
keeping us
3
Pearl Drain, yeah, not great.
nice to have.
Oh, but Hash does get through the
As
fight.
Hash does take down Hide and the Hide Knights. Good night. Curtain falls on the classic Knight of Swing ban, and we'll see where Hash goes with his fourth member, who is Edgar.
So we haven't seen what Edgar has yet on stream here, so we'll see what he offers. He is another good weapons user. He has the innate kind of stats, runic. So he's kind of like Celeste. So yeah, that's about the same.
Runic coming heavy. Edgar can swing that Atma weapon as well.
Yep. And there's also a natural Dragoon. Oh my god.
Ah! Drago check.
There we go.
Look away from the poison walk. Thank you.
Look at the poison walk. Yeah, get to the trough of healing.
Anyway, Zelfer working through Ebbets Rock, a spooky little cave off the coast of ruined Thamasa, where you have to run around picking up quote-unquote coral for a treasure chest that likes to eat quote-unquote coral. You need 22 of them to be exact. You never know where the little buttons will take you. It is, in my opinion, sort of a frustrating check. Part of why Strago gets his rap of being the character you don't always want to find in your Worlds Collide party. But honestly, by the numbers, it's not a very long check. Obviously, it can be longer, it can be smaller, but Self will work through shortly, as looks like Hash is doing some shopping.
Now, I want to make a point about Ebbets Cave. I just realized it has coral. It's an island off the coast. Is it tropical? Like, I would want to visit there with some like drinks or a hammock or something.
That's a good question.
That sounds great. I mean, I'm just saying.
I like that. That's some fun lore. The destruction of the world. Also, to like.
And it's a struggle check, so maybe it's a retirement beach for him. Well, we got Guardian. This is another difficult boss.
Guardian is an endgame boss. Is an extremely beefy boss. It'll be interesting to see how normalizing Stort affects that. Could affect Guardian in some scary ways, but again, with those elemental shields, with the Thunder Shield in particular, we'll be casting Bolt Magic, which Guardian is weak to, doing very decent damage. Umaro breathing out with the Blizzard Orb. But this will take a minute for Zelfer as he chews through this usually very tanky, usually very endgame boss. As Hash is making the Kefka and Narf play. Love to see this. We get our first look at actual Kefka in this seed with kind of a sweet,
very monochromatic
sprite.
I was gonna say, yeah. But yeah, Hash is definitely doing the full tour of Narshir. As Cyan apparently has a lot of gray hair.
Yes, obviously, in the Worlds Collide randomizer, you can randomize quite a few things, including character palettes. As Guardian Crack Boom goes down for Zelfer.
And Hash with the slide by there to get to Pumbaba. Now this one isn't
always impressive
too bad.
And runs into Pumbaba.
Yeah, Pumbaba's not a hard check, maybe more so in the later stages. The problem with Pumbaba is he has a ton of health. He is susceptible to poisons. That kind of chips in a little bit. But then, of course, if you have Pearl that does over 5,000 damage, I guess that's fine.
Not a bad time to break that Pearl Rod, as Hash does. Meanwhile, Zelfer looking through he has found Source of Life 3, has found Speed 2 on that Esper from Ebbets Rock, as Funbaba goes down for Hashmalum. And will we earn hopefully an Esper from this? We know it will not be a character because we saw the merchant at the beginning of this chapter, the Palador Esper. And where does Hash go next? With Edgar and his party, has not, of course, done Mount Zozo, or would have had Kara, as Zelfer does, as Zelfer is going to World of Balanced Zozo. For one of my favorite checks, honestly. Also not the world's fastest check, but Zozo, I think, a very cool section of the game with the sweet music and the rain-slicked hopping around buildings. What do you think, Saber? Well, I like it at least, as Hash making his way out of Narsh is a bit of a walk, which is why you like to bundle those Narsh checks together if you can, as Zelfer continues to hop from building to building. As we are approaching the half-hour mark of this semifinals race in the 2022 Battle Royale tournament of Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Zelfer running into the boss at the top of the stairs of Zozo, and it is Doom. Another statue boss, another boss that can be pretty scary. The sort of ice boss of the statue triumvirate, which is honestly good news for Zelfer with all of the elemental protection that he has found thus far. Also, the pearl damage he will be able to inflict is great, hitting Doom in one of his weaknesses.
And Cyan just throwing money at the problem.
Cyan throwing money at the problem.
Well, he's not throwing it at his own party. It's fine, I guess. Oh, we got Dragoon Terror rocking it.
Doing work. Doom is flashing, which means he's entering its second phase.
Now, Zelfer has 5 characters. What's the... so he has Edgar, so he's elected to go with Yomaro over Edgar? That's weird.
I don't think Zelfer has Edgar.
There's 5 characters.
Zelfer hasn't gone to Ruined Narsh, so he hasn't
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Yomaro's check. Zelfer has also not found the goddess fight that Hash found, but Doom goes down, so that is 2 of our 3 statue bosses accounted for, at least for us, the audience, here in this semifinal seed, and we shall see what awaits Zelfer atop of Zozo. And honestly, this is pretty good news for our runners. Again, about half an hour in, Magi Master taken care of, statues.
Goddess taken care of, Doom taken care of, Guardian taken care of, yeah.
Effectively.
So Spicy Chicken's the only one left, really, other than Inferno, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zone Seek and Zozo, kind of a dud of an Esper. But
Life 3.
The collection does have that Pearl on the Bismarck, as Hash takes on Guardian. Also has Bolt Through to take care of this boss. We'll start to chew through that. And we are still, I would say, in the early game of this seed, sort of the end game of the early game is where we are.
Yeah, we're definitely in the mid game right now. Yeah, definitely in the mid game. And I want to get a quick update. So we have Zelfer, 4 characters, 6 Espers, a Hash Malum, 4 characters. I believe he will have 3 Espers at the end of this, if I'm not mistaken. Also off screen. Yeah, and also off screen. Oh, kind of soul. Yeah, that helps. Also, we have Dr. DT, 5 characters, 4 Espers currently, and Dozen T. I have to double check that one. Sorry. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go.
On screen, however, we have Hash taken down Guardian, and Zelfer making the Muddle play on Katana Soul, casting Muddle, so it will Slayer Edge itself, insta-deathing itself, and earning Zelfer his offering relic.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to beat Katana Soul is confusing itself so it can kill itself with a Doom attack.
Very slick way to take that off. You can also use the Noise Blasting tool. But now we have Kefka Narsh spoken for, 2 out of Strago's check, 2 out of Strago's 3 spoken for, and Umaro's as well. I suppose we'll have to start working in some Terra checks for Zelfer, or perhaps doing the sort of Figaro Castle swing for Hash and his Edgar.
Yeah, Figaro checks can be kind of hit or miss. They do take I feel the castle checks do take a long time, and plus we have the no free lunch flag on, as Zelfer finds not a character at the Wilk check here. Does find a Rexel, which is kind of meh.
Rexel, not a fun boss. Not
But
a Yeti friendly boss either. It has those 2 Soul Savers sitting in front of it that will just soak up attacks. Going to crack that Ice Rod on Rexel's head. This ghostly boss is weak to ice, but has such high magic defense that its sort of weakness just translates to normal damage. But Terra hopping on its head, and I guess we're early enough to see that the bosses are still a bit light,
very weak.
or perhaps that is normalize and distort. Distorting Rexel for Zelfer's benefit. Either way, that is what can be a very annoying boss spoken for quite shortly, and that is the Welk Cave check, which rewards Magic Power 2 Shiva.
Now we can't go on the back of the kit because we do not have lock, so we do not have the second option weapon shop to get that one. But just finishing the thought there for Edgar's checks. Because we have no free lunch on, his throne check is actually an automatic dead check. So that kind of cancels one of his checks out.
As rewarding as it would be in a standard race.
Right. And the rest of the checks really take a while to get through the caves and to get through the castles, to get to where you want to go. It's kind of meh, as Hash Malam's going to go through the burning house.
Fighting their gauntlet of hermit crabs, but you are correct. The Edgar checks can be quite time-consuming.
Oh, and looks like Zelfer's going to go for the Edgar there.
Yeah, heading up Ruined Narsh. Perhaps we'll take on a dragon. Perhaps we'll just head straight to Tritok and Umaro check. As Hash continues navigating these hermit crabs, we'll find Vanilla Flame Eater at the end of all this. Has Umaru doing 4-digit damage now. Always like to see that, as Hash making great use of the Blitz command. Love to see that.
Yeah, Hash hasn't gone to Mount Zozo, have they? So he has not gotten their Terra yet.
Zelfer runs into the dragon.
I wonder if he thinks that's a free lunch check because there is no boss to get through that check. Because technically, it's not a free free lunch check. It's actually a regular check.
Qualify for no free progression.
Right. So I'm wondering if he's, because I actually got that confused myself. I thought it was a no free lunch check because you don't fight it. Technically, don't fight anything to get through.
Very talented runners to know what they're doing, often more than I do. As Zelfer takes on the Dirt Durgan, eating those honed tusk attacks that are really not hitting for very much at all. Perhaps again, normalizing and/or distorting the damage in Zelfer's favor, whose party is all floating, by the way, forcing Dirt Dragon to cast its what was that, the 5G attack that removes the floating status from your party. So Zelfer obviously showcasing great familiarity with Final Fantasy VI.
Question from chat from Johnny1778XL. How long is your adverse seed for Worlds Collide? We do have a standard flag set that you have a 2-character start. You need 7 characters, 10 espers to get through. The personal goal for that one is usually 2 hours to get through. But we do have some what's called Moogle seeds. So if you've never done this before, what's called a Moogle seed, which is a kind of an easier check, high item rewards that are spread out through the game. So you do find a lot of Illuminas and stuff. That can be quite a bit easier and a little bit faster to run. But traditionally, the average seed to run through is about 2 hours, so it's not too bad. Now, if you want to go crazy and ludicrous and chaos and stuff like that, those ones, on the other hand, can take over 3 hours.
It's a very modular randomizer. That's one of the fun things about it. But if you're wondering for this particular Battle Royale tournament, what the average is, it's probably going to be under an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah, they've all
or possibly under an hour 30 as Hash runs into the Vanilla Flame Eater at the end of Casa del Fuego. Zelfer taking on the Tritok boss. Obviously, Hash will use Ice 2 magic, and Umaro on target will take care of that as Zelfer runs into Narappa the Rappa.
Yeah, so for these
yes, to your
for these
point,
four runners, the average time is going to be about an hour and 31, hour and 32 minutes on average. So this is about 90 minutes about. So not too bad. Pretty quick.
Yeah, so we're
You're welcome.
really in the thick of it now as Hash picks up the Unicorn Esper. Zelfer casting Quarter on Narappa for 8,000 damage. My goodness, taking advantage of the fact that Narappa does not have the boss bit to ignore instant death category attack. And it goes down on Zelfer's screen.
Yeah, definitely pushing those Espers out. Hash Malum is now going to start doing the dream checks. As Zelfer gets his Shoat Esper. Esper for Shoat is good on tier 1 Kefka because the long arm is susceptible to petrify. So that can be a useful Esper if you don't have any other means of sudden death attacks like Doom or Raiden or Odin or something like that. So
that is very true. There is a handful of bosses, or Espers rather, that you want to have for the final battle as Zelfer runs into the Pugs.
Yeah, I thought he already got offering. I don't know why.
On the chance to pick up a Minerva, but will of course not do that. Tossing the smoke bomb because Zelfer's doing just fine on Minervas. I believe has 2, in addition to the Steel Muffler and Elemental Shields. So great looking gear, defensively at least. Has the Atma Weapon offering, which will come online with levels later on as Hash finds the Magi Master, and we'll see how they deal with what can be a very spooky boss. Could be a GP range showcase once again.
But he does have Berserk, so if we can pop the Berserk right now, he should be able to get through this no problem.
Zelfer runs into...
Nope, doesn't like to even bother doing
it.
Oh, so we got the reverse that we had earlier.
Indeed. Don't want to get hit by that Confuse Claw. Magi Master, in addition to all its dangers and troubles, has extremely high physical evasion and is very difficult to hit. Is actually probably one of the rare uses for the Sniper Sight Relic, which ensures the fight command hits. The Yeti's Yeet attack, of course, will not miss. Tackle, regular attacks, will miss. Hash making use of the Runic command to intercept any of the dangerous spells Magi Master may cast, as Zelfer hitting Heiden's fire weakness with the Fire Dance. Takes down all but one of the Haydenites, which is sort of exactly what you want, because if you take down all of the Haydenites, Hayden will go into a supercharged, dangerous attack. The vanilla game is Grand Train. This game can often be Wombat, which hits your party for 4,000 damage, and wow. But with keeping one of the Haydenites alive, Zelfer avoid that as Magi Master goes down the screen. That's both our runners taking down a very formidable boss. And gaining that very useful Raiden Esper from...
We're getting really, really close to Final Kefka here. We're around 42 minutes right now into the fight. We'll be seeing Kefka entries at around the 1 minute mark. Just quick update. It looks like Dr. DT is fighting the Goddess, so he's at leader right now. And Doesn't He is doing the first stage of... just finished the first stage of the Edgar check, which was the machine room with the vines.
Interesting, as Zelfer takes down Hayden. I don't know if you noticed that. Unicorn Esper summon, always fun to see. Unicorn has a unique summon, as all Espers do. In that case, casting Remedy on the party, basically removing everything Zelfer now has Edgar, his 5th character. Will he bench the Yeti for a character he can control? A runic Edgar.
Yes. We're talking about a
Indeed,
character that
because
gets left on the boat when on a Kefka. I mean, come on.
Umaro, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing damage against Magi Master, and now have a seat on the airship and never get out.
Yeah, Yeti is interesting. Yeti is good early stages because he does do a lot of damage and has really high defense, so he almost takes no damage. And the second thing about Yeti is he's also really good at the Colosseum. Because he just basically throws himself or just bashes things with a lot of damage. So unless you fight something with really high defense in the Colosseum, he generally does a pretty darn good job there. So that's really the two functions of our good old Yeti friend here.
Indeed, as we see Zelfer doing a bit of menuing, equipping the Atma weapon on Edgar, and of course the Atlas armlet as well to boost fight command damage, and the pod racer to cast some buffs. Atma weapon, one of the few really weapons in the game, is a different weapon formula from most weapons in the game, which makes it a few things. One, extremely powerful, as it scales primarily off of levels, so the higher your level, the harder it will swing, and it pairs beautifully with the offering, turning fight to X-Fight, doing full damage on all 4 swings, whereas most weapons do not. Does require you to be at full health to do full damage, but should not be that hard to achieve with all the elemental protection as Hash takes on Kefka. I find casting level 2 magic on the Kefka fight very apropos. That's sort of the point of the game where you're just casting a few level 2 spells, if I remember correctly, as we get a few yeets in from the Yeti, as Zelfer takes on Edgar's checks, looks like.
Shout out to our chat star, Power L. We appreciate you staying with us. Appreciate you watching this, and hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
That's a Go-Go.
Go-Go.
Interesting.
Go-Go the Mimic.
So we have, let's see, we have Blitz, and that's about it, I think, because you can't use anything else. So Go-Go not gonna be great on this one, unfortunately.
Go-Go the Mimic is certainly the best Final Fantasy VI, but is a character cursed with particularly low stats. So generally you want the character who's good at Blitz doing the blitzes, and mimicking blitzes is never a bad thing, but does not do quite as much damage coming out of Go-Go as it would for most characters. And with Umaro already on the bench, Umaro and Go-Go, sort of the 2 most unique characters in the game. Perhaps will not make it into Zelfer's party, but will, of course, make it into the Go-Go Cave later on. As we got these funky lavender tentacles taking over the Figaro Castle engine room. It is Doomgaze. Uh-oh, quick level check.
Yeah, this is creepy. It wasn't creepy enough as it was. You got a flying skull on top of this
and
thing.
Wipes half the party. Strago and Edgar on Zelfer's team are apparently levels multiple of 5. Get knocked out by that level 5 Doom to rise those up as he takes on this Doomgaze fight, which could be a lengthy fight as Hash takes on a lengthy flight of stairs heading up the Fanatic's Tower. Schwantz in chat saying the Doomgaze, yikes. Very, very true. Always sort of catch your breath when you see Doomgaze, unless you know exactly what level your party is, which generally you don't keep, because it doesn't really matter unless you run into someone who kills your party if it's multiples of 5. Meanwhile, quad 9 damage from Zelfer as well. So definitely putting up a strong fight against this spooky boss. Aura Bolt hitting one of Doomgaze's weaknesses as Hatch continues to climb. Opts to take the dragon. Will, of course, only use the magic command in the Fanatic's Tower. Yellow Dinosaur calling itself a gold dragon.
Well, Well, I mean, we had a dirty dragon earlier that was basically a brown Tyrannosaurus Rex. I mean, come on now.
Well, yeah, but that's the Dirt Durgan.
Dirty Durgan.
Gold Dragon, obviously the Bolt Elemental Dragon of the set, casting that Lightning Plasma command.
Ooh, but this surge coming on Zelfer's
Water,
screen
I
from
think?
Doomsdays is not going to feel good. Oh, okay, never mind. We have some ice shields on, so
Actually,
that helps.
2 Minervas and a Snow Muffler say otherwise. Zelfer with great protection, particularly against the cold. Another one of the benefits of having Umaru the Yeti, which I believe you mentioned, Saberwolf, as Doomgaze goes down on Zelfer's screen,
The
is
cold
that
doesn't bother him
Snow
anyways,
Muffler
apparently.
armor equipped on Umaru. So this is Zelfer's 6th character, Gogo the Mimic, as Hash has to rise up Cyan and continue this Yellow Dinosaur fight.
So I guess we pretty much checked everywhere except for Ancient Cave, I believe, on Zelfer, and maybe Mobliz. We haven't checked Mobliz, which is one of Terra's checks as well. So that's Zelfer's 2 options right now to try to find character number 7 and Esper number 9, because he's pretty close to the hill here of entering Kefka's Tower, and pretty good
He
time
is.
here.
That's 6 and 8 for Zelfer, correct?
Yep. So he's 1 away on each, and Dr. TT is not far behind at 6 and 7. And
Only 6 characters are required, correct? Along with the 9 Espers. Of course, you can go up
yep,
to
6 and 9. So actually,
9
needs 1
characters.
Esper, actually. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They can't do Auction House or Thief because that does raise the statistics. But Zelfer is going to do Leader. Now, we know Leader is a dead check. It's just a red cap, so he's not going to find the Esper here, unfortunately.
No, but a smart check, a quick check, a Goddess encounter, by the way. So Zelfer will take on...
Yeah, that is true. With the higher levels, though. At higher levels than what Hash Malum did, so she's going to have a lot more abilities to be throwing at him.
Taking the cheeky grind, hoping for a high roll. This is not a high roll.
What was the item?
Level X magic enemies are very difficult. Award no experience. Though that one was undead, so 25 magic points for Zelfer as Hash is about to run into the boss atop the Fanatic's Tower as Zelfer takes on Goddess.
What was the item in the top of the tower? I missed it. But tunnel armor with the top of the tower, so that's going to be kind of easy. Again, it's another robot from the Empire, so almost all robots for the Empire are susceptible to bolt. The only exception to that is one of the cranes.
Thank you, the Schwantz. Our terrific tracker.
Vanilla Gem Box.
Full armor. One of the easiest bosses in the game. We'll put up a bit more of a fight with North and Distort, or at least stay up a bit longer, but as you mentioned, his weak bolt almost 4,000 damage is Strago on Hash's screen as Zelfer Cyan continues to throw money at the problem to take down this spooky goddess fight. Tunnel armor already down on Hash's screen.
Yeah, tunnel armor is the reason why it's an easier fight than most other bosses, because when you fight it in the vanilla version of the game, you're only fighting with 2 characters. So it is technically would be an easier boss, as we have a goddess go down on Zelfer's screen. So not too much trouble for them either. Bosses have not been putting out much of a fight here, really. I mean, the closest we've seen has been the Doomgaze, which got Zelfer in very, very low health, but we haven't really seen any wipes or anything, honestly.
Well, there was that rough hide-in encounter for Hash.
Yeah, but that was one of the first
both
encounters.
Both of our runners
yeah.
are handling this seed very adroitly, as you mentioned up top. Obviously, two very, very talented runners, of course, to make it here to the semifinal of the Battle Royale tournament. You got to be one of the best, and yeah, both of our runners putting on a show. As
Zelfer taking some pausing there, trying to figure out where do I go from here. Okay, well, I guess we're going to check the castle, which is technically an automatic dead check, unless he's going to do the ancient portion of it, which...
I imagine he's going to the ancient castle, yeah.
Because there's no other reason why to go here. As Hash Malum rushes to the bottom of the tower to get the reveal of the reward from the I guess you could say the
This would
merchant,
be a guaranteed Esper from the Fanatics Tower.
the cultist merchant. I don't know how to call that. And there's a match like it's Bahamut of all things. That's not bad. Still missing some characters though.
For Ash Bahamut with some pretty useful spells, Mute and X-Zone chief among them. Has the 8 of the 9 as Zelfer checks a few chests deep underground, checks the monster in a box.
Oh, but the lowly Wolfie. No, my Wolfie.
We find in the tutorial house. Did Zelfer not take on Katana Soul in the tutorial house?
I don't think he did the tutorial house because he did it so early. He didn't bother checking the monster chest.
Wow.
So
I know he's
yeah.
used the bucket at least. Hefe in chat.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's looking for Gigantos, the extremely
that's
rewarding magic or Master in a Box encounter.
Yeah, that is a kind of a free boss gain as Hashmalum finally finds character number 5. Fortunately, finds the Go-Go, not the Terra that we have available to us.
Master Pug, not a Monster in a Box. Nope, out of there.
No. And I would give us an update on what our other runners are doing, but they would be spoilers, so I'm not going to.
Well, we can focus on our 2 on screen here. It is certainly a very exciting race, even with the mere 2, as Zelfer finds another Atma weapon in the underground ancient castle, and also has the opportunity for another dragon fight.
Ooh, Darker Boots in the bucket. And switching over the Atma weapon to Terra, who is definitely a good swinger of it. Did we find Esper number 9? Yes, it is Esper number 9 for Zelfer. They are on the hill to go to Kefka's Tower.
As you saw on screen.
And a Fire 3, so that's good for K1.
Well, Tier 3 Elemental Magic, fantastic to find. As Zelfer runs into the dragon, it is the red dragon.
And we'll immediately earn that spell too.
As is Hash's party a multiple of 5? Yikes! Doomgaze wipes Hash with the troll level 5 Doom.
Oh no!
At the bottom of Figaro Castle. So that is not the world's shortest walk. And that is why Doomgaze is such a rude boss. Zelfer's Ice Magic and Elemental Protection will do much better against the Red Dragon. As we saw, only one of Zelfer's 4 characters takes damage from fire attacks.
Now, Hashmalum, unfortunately, knowing that's a character, is going to abandon that, electing to go to do a dragon fight at the Opera House to try to get off those multiplier of 5 levels they have, and then we'll probably immediately go back there to unlock some more checks for themselves, as he still hasn't done the Moblez 2 check, and he hasn't done the, what was the Terra on?
Terra was on top of Mount Zozo.
Okay, so he hasn't done Mount Zozo still either, so...
No, it does find the White Dragon, who will cast a bunch of Pearl Magic at you, can be muted if Hash has the mute spell.
I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, Zelfer is in go mode. Is going to have to make the hike back through the ancient castle caves and back above ground. But once that's done, you can head straight into KT and really enter the end game of this race.
That is for sure. Wow. Okay.
What's that?
Nothing. The producer is talking to me on some stuff other racers are doing, and I'm just stunned by what they have. Just feeding information to me for later.
Cool. Well, yes, a reminder for the audience, this is a 4-way race. We are broadcasting, restreaming 2 of those runners. 2 of the 4 will advance to the finals of the Battle Royale tournament. Hash takes down the White Dragon. So it's entirely possible that both of our runners on screen, Zelfer and Fulham, could advance and race again in the Battle Royale final. But there are 2 runners off screen at the moment who we are also tracking and are also competing against our 2 runners.
Yep. In those runners right now, Dr. DD has 8 characters and 7 espers. So they are having a very hard time trying to find their other espers. And Doesn't T, who's with the other runner off screen, currently has 6 characters and 6 espers. So Zelfer looks like he's going to do some maintenance leveling. He's also going to go to do the White Dragon at the Opera House as well. Try to get some more of those levels before hitting into Kefka's Tower. Try to get as full strength as possible. We still haven't got to the 1 minute mark, which is where most of our runners during the series has been entering Kefka's Tower, as Hashmalum is going to go for round 2 versus Doomgaze. Getting those levels off the dragon is no longer a multiplier of 5 to try again here.
Definitely a heads-up play from Hash. Tough that he ran into the Doomgaze wall as White Dragon goes down for Zelfer. But yeah, smart to take a dragon fight, which is, as we see on Zelfer Street, something he was probably going to do anyway. And now gonna head back here, take down this boss, pick up Go-Go as yet another Aura Lance from a dragon. What Zelfer's going to do in Ruin of South Figaro with Edgar in the lead will peek at Zelfer's equipment loadout. We see 2 equipped Atma weapons. Once again, speaking to
Wow.
that sword's great strength.
And they have offering available too, so at least one of them swinging it 4 times. Buying some more Thunder Shields, I guess, to break them on Kefka's face.
Well, you certainly can't take the GP with you, so if you've got it and you're about to go to KT, why not spend it?
But you have somebody throwing it at people, so you kind of are, right?
Taking it with you?
Well, I mean, you have GP throw, so he's throwing the gold that's with you, right?
All right, Hash, Doomgaze Revenge. Level 5 Doom does not hit the party this time, so Aura Bolt's Pearl damage and some Fire 2s hitting Doomgaze's weakness. We'll chew through this boss. May have to dodge, or hope to dodge, a few Doom spell attacks.
That's what Zelfer's looking for. I guess he's looking for some more items here. Red Jacket's available. Circulate does help with magic power. So it looks like he's going to be buying some circulets to up the magic power. Okay, 3 of them.
Yeah, Zelfer really making sure his team is equipped, and yeah, you can see they are.
Oh yeah, they're wow.
Slaps on that red cap with the elemental shields.
Yeah, I think he's good to go. Yeah, he's definitely equipped to the teeth.
High 30s as well, which is right where you want to be. I think it looked like 38 or so was the average of his party, which is certainly the sweet spot for Kefka's Tower. Obviously, higher is always better, but he should be able to work through this without too much trouble. Of course, don't want to commentate or curse it.
So Kefka's Tower entry at 101.55 for Zelfer. He is the first one in the tower.
Indeed, he is. And Kefka's Tower, the final dungeon of the game, and it is a beast of a dungeon. At that, it is physically a large area. It takes a while to walk through. That's why there is, in fact, the KT skip. To avoid a big chunk of it, it contains a 5-boss gauntlet. 6th optional boss has some optional dragons, and then has the final battle itself, which is a 4-tiered mega battle before you face off against final Kefka.
And
So,
Hash is electing to go Yeti over Go-Go. Just saying.
I like that. You can stick with the Yeti. Look at all the work the Yeti's done. You got to dance with who brung you.
Okay, so Zelfer is electing to go through Kefka's Tower multiple times. If you have a single character alone in the group, that means that he's going to do a full-fledged assault on each statue with 4 characters, or at least check, see what the other ones are, and then maybe split it up on the second round. But kind of we kind of thought this was going to happen with Zelfer doing multiple runs into Kefka's Tower. He has the first one in there, so that's definitely going to help him out with that strat. But kind of getting a little surveillance, see what the other 2 statues are going to be, and just hitting at least 1 or maybe 2 statues with a harder force. Because you have to split your party up and you only have 6 characters in your party, the extra 2 characters you have are probably going to be on the weaker side, doesn't have the bonus stats you got from the Espers and everything. So, yeah, getting a full-fledged frontal assault with 2 or 3 characters in your party, even a 4-character party, is definitely going to help you get through these statues faster. However, it is going to take you a little longer because you still got to make that climb all the way up Kefka's Tower each time, which I believe is like a 3.5 minute walk.
Big brain strategy, an example of the high-level play we have on offer here in the semifinals as Zelfa runs into this first boss. It is Inferno, Vanilla Inferno.
Ooh, so this is definitely going to help with that.
Spooky boss as well. Zelfa definitely happy to have his full party to bear against this, obviously.
Yeah, this strat is definitely going to help right now.
Inferno boss, to be honest, I quite often have trouble with. Can be a pain early, can be a pain late, but is taking pain from those Atma weapon swings, doing almost 4K. Bolt magic doing more than that. Inferno is a machine, so takes extra damage from lightning attacks.
Hashmalin finding that Atma weapon inside the ancient castle, so getting another Atma weapon available to them. Gogo is able to wield it, by the way.
Edgar knocks him down as Strago continues to throw out the bolt magic, taking down Vanilla Inferno. Something that we haven't really touched on too much is that Zelfer has found 2 Magic Power Plus Espers, a Magic Power 2 and a Magic Power 1, which could perhaps be accounting for Strago's, quite honestly, fantastic magical damage in that Inferno fight.
In Terra, too. Terra's actually doing a lot of good damage in Magic Power 2.
Yep, as Hash about to cast some Ice 2 magic at the Ice Weak Red Dragon, and Umaro, it looks like swinging the Aura Lance, perhaps, as, we got a showcase for the Atma combo on Hash, and you will quickly see why it is such a powerful strat, swinging 4 times with this very damaging weapon that, in fact, ignores damage reduction from the offering, will quickly turn into big endgame damage, as Zelfer, taking on another dragon, wants to perhaps supercharge these Atma weapons with more levels. These swords scales extremely well with level, and perhaps this Dragon XP, as that is a quad 9 Aura Bolt from Strago. Good for Blitz Strago.
We want to remind chat really quick, this is not a head-to-head race. This is actually a 4-racer race, and the top 2 of these 4 racers are going to move on to the next round. So even though you see Zelfer way, like, I guess you could say ahead of Hashmalin, we still have 2 other racers that are racing these 2 off stream. So this is not just a head-to-head matchup, okay?
That is very true, though. Of our 2 runners on screen, it is certainly worth noting that Zelfer has played this very well as he continues Hash. Actually, funnily enough, running into a vanilla Kefka Tower random encounter, these great behemoths, evil Oscars and whatnot. Honestly, a pretty decent grind fight as well. Obviously has the ability to take down these monsters with his own Atma weapon offering combo.
14k money's not bad either.
Perhaps wants to take a few of these fights to boost up his levels.
So Zelfer with his mega team is probably going to be facing the Guardian check and the Central Statue check as well with his party. Probably going to use a Warp Stone to get back out of Kefka's Tower. Maybe, well, we're going to probably peek with the other 2 party members to see what the next battles are going to be facing. He can peek them. They're going to use a warp stone, get out of the tower, and then redistribute his resources either 2 and 2, or do another fort check if those bosses are really going to be difficult. So that's what Zelfer is going to be doing probably in the near future.
Yes, indeed. As he hits the 3 buttons, makes it through that, enters the boss gauntlet at the end of Kafka's Tower. The first boss of which is Poltergeist.
So
this
again,
the set of statue bosses. It is a spicy chicken.
wow.
Wolf, break down Poltergeist for us.
So first and foremost, he is doing the strat with a full team. So this fight's going to be a lot easier. Unfortunately, we do not have stop. He's looking through his magic list for stop because Poltergeist is susceptible to stop, which is what Poltergeist's ability is. He stops you, then uses an ability to instantly kill you immediately afterwards. So Poltergeist, also known as Spicy Chicken's in chat if you got him. So ice will work, water will work on them. Unfortunately, like I said, we don't have stop. But this can be a very difficult boss fight this stage of the game. So as you can see, you're doing a lot of damage, taking our party members down to triple digits here. But again, so much magic power, so much power out of aura bolts. This is a toasted chicken
Blitz
here.
Strago again doing damage. And that again, completes the set, the Warning Triad. For Zelfer is taking down all the bosses. Of course, that doesn't mean anything mechanically, but something fun to keep track of. And is now, look at that, low to mid 40s on his character levels. So that is a very, very strong party. Zelfer is navigating through Kefix Towers to take on the second boss fight of this particular path.
It's Cranes. Niles and Fraser. Yeah.
Brothers. Certainly a much easier fight than Poltergeist. The left crane loves lightning. The right crane absorbs fire. They're both going to take a bunch of damage from Atma weapons. And the Airblade Blitz, love to see that. 9,000 Blitz damage from Strago.
So something interesting on Hash's side. He's taking a lot of extra fights here, grinding some fights in the bottom of Ancient Castle here. Looks like he might be going for level 42 for Strago, which will unlock Bum Rush for that Blitz ability. So it looks like they're trying to unlock that, which I think Zelfer is also trying to do, taking the extra dragons like that, boosting his Strago's levels. Okay, he selected Strago, but we didn't see what levels he's at. But if he's at level 42, that might give him Zelfer also the ability to go for a Bum Rush, which will automatically give Strago quad 9s, and that's exactly where he's going right now. He's going straight to the Bum Rush Learning Center, which is Sabin's teacher.
Duncan's house.
Yep, so
we'll have to sit through what is the longest cutscene in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. But we'll with the Bum Rush Blitz. For those who know the Blitz command, you know what fun Bum Rush is. It is a defense-ignoring attack. Extremely powerful. And in this particular flag set of Collide, can only be learned once the Blitz user reaches level 42, which, as we mentioned, Strago has, and will be rewarded with the very cool Bum Rush Blitz. Hash, meanwhile, still a character short of entering Kefix Tower, but is going to sync up with Zelfer here at the hour and 12-minute mark as we get dueling Bum Rush cutscenes.
So let's take a moment here as we have a 2-minute long cutscene. So if you want to catch a drink or a bathroom break, go right ahead. So as you were saying, Bum Rush is a defense ignoring magical attack. And at this stage of the game, with Strago having this much magic power, it's automatically going to do quad 9s damage. So yeah. So keep that in mind. Just to keep catch up on our runners.
Powerful ability, and certainly worth sitting through the cutscene more often than not. But a chance to shout out our runners and our restream team as the Bum Rush cutscene wraps up. Of course, we're watching Zelfer85 and Hashwillem. I am Fantastic Owner. Joining me is Saberwolf, and our tremendous tracker behind the scenes is the Schwantz. Bringing this semifinal race to you, as looks like Zelfer is heading back into KT for round 2.
Also want to make a quick update here. Dr. DT is getting go-go for their 9th character, so he will be unlocking the shortcut, which is 9 characters or 12 espers. You need one or the other, not both. And as long as you meet the parameters of just unlocking Kefka, you can get all the way straight to Kefka. So, letting this FYI, Dr. DT unlocking the shortcut.
I just see a from chat about doing bum rush on a keyboard as a fellow keyboard player.
Oh,
And
jeez.
yes, there are dozens of us. There are dozens of us. The trick to bum rush is you don't do the whole radial turn. You go left, left, up, up, right, right, down, down, left. Works every time.
Oh. It's almost the contra code. Almost. As a Hash Malum is going down to 1 character or no mogul charm to get into Gogo's check. You have to be eaten by this vacuum cleaner. And you only need 1 character because you're not going to fight anything in there. There's no bosses inside there. And only having 1 character in the group gets you into the belly of the beast faster. And really the only thing you have to worry about is the pancake masher that is halfway through this. Of course, we got to get through the leprechauns, as that was really close. Oh, we found a fixed dice. Woo!
But yes, as you mentioned, Gogo's check, the Zone Eater Cave, there are no encounters, but it is certainly not free, as we're approaching the section of Gogo's Cave that, in fact, can give you an instant game over and kill you if you get crushed by the collapsing ceiling. Of course, those conductors in the first room, not very pleasant at all, though. Hash very skillfully makes it through there, very skillfully makes it safely there. We'll see if he maybe takes a peek at this chest. Not interested. Late enough in the game. Perhaps not super interested in loot at this point. Zelfer forgetting to put a Moogle Charm on one of his parties and Kefka. Certainly all been there.
Yeah, especially when you break down to the other groups
no problem with
there.
This, as Hash finds his required 6th character, unlocks Final Kefka himself, and finds a lock in this party and is good to go.
That I actually knew. Dr. DT picking up Bum Rush as well before heading into Kefka's tower. So another thing to note about the no free lunch checks is that any characters that have a single check, which is Mog, Yumaru, and Gogo, all of their checks are going to be guaranteed a character or an Esper. So that's also something you want to think about and keep in mind, that when doing these checks, that you know that those 3 checks are in fact going to be an Esper or a character for progression.
Right you are, as is doing a bit of shopping. Perhaps going to grab a few Thunder Shields, as Zelfer did before heading into KT.
Yeah, that's part of Kefka's fight there. When you get to that 4th stage, you want to, when he gets to the charge up ability for Goner, you just break all your shields on them and pretty much finish the fight there. So that is the number 1 strat to kill Kefka. As Zelfer is going to go to the 2nd set of switches again. Did break up his party into 2 and 2. So we now have, so instead of being a strength of 1, 1, 2 for your main characters, he's now running a 2, 1, 2. So a little bit stronger because he did do the pre-run into the tower at around 1 hour, 1 minute. So these fights are going to be a little bit easier, as the Yeti now has a free path all the way through to the final switches because of the early clear out. And he's probably going to be the safety save as well. Nope, he's going to go right straight to the switch.
Meanwhile,
so Zelfer is at switch number 1.
The gigantic treasury Hash is building up, selling a ton of endgame gear, about to spend it all on 20 Thunder Shields. Oh, that's...
I'm sorry, did you say 20?
$1 million GP. Hashmalum just bought a stack of 20 Thunder Shields. Zelfer running into the 3 Stooges. Can be a very annoying fight at the best of times.
Doesn't he, with a shortcut unlock with 9 characters?
With these extremely powerful endgame characters he has, including Blitz Strago, who I'm sure we're about to see go off, perhaps with a quad 9 bum rush attack. But that is a comically large stack of Thunder Shields that Hash bought. I greatly look forward to them just literally throwing Thunder Shields at the problem for the rest of this seed.
Dr. DT is inside Kefka's tower doing the shortcut.
Interesting.
Hash Malum going into Hash Malum also going into
Zelfer with another bit of game knowledge pulls out the was that Odin or Raiden, the Esper that tries to instantly kill enemies. The Ice Stooge is actually not immune to instant death, so can be taken out. With attacks like that, though, of course, they do have a chance to miss. It did in this case. But with Jumper Terra, Bum Rush Strago, shouldn't last too much longer.
No, Bum Rush Drago dropping the quad 9s every time with that high magic power that he's had since the beginning of the game. Is going to take out the ice one. Terra dropping down, taking out the bolt one, and to finish it off. So great damage between quad 9s and 6,000 damage each. Yeah, that's going to make short work of that.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, Zelfer with a very, very strong endgame party. Levels 46 is very, very beefy.
That's
Anytime
very beefy.
You're really at bum rush levels or above, you're going to be very strong. Leveling just gives you such an edge, and grows with itself. So higher levels just translate to so much power as Hash runs into this Vanilla Inferno fight. How will he deal with it? He kicks it off with a Bahamut summon, playing off a Sunflare. Bahamut, one of the few damaging Espers that's really worth its summon, just does much better damage than most, though.
Senor Behemoth on Goddess.
We have Senor Behemoth, infamous SR Behemoth.
Well, it's supposed to be Strontium Behemoth, actually, but whatever. We call him Senor Behemoth.
Now, we see Hash's Thunder Shields at work there, doing the quad or 9,000 plus damage. Has 16 left to throw, absorbing a few of Inferno's attacks, so should be able to deal with this. Zelfer's already at the second stage of the mysterious SR. Could be Super Behemoth. Could be just.
Oh no! But that's a Delta hit, and Hash Malum goes down.
Oh no! A Delta hit. Petrify insta kills when Cyan's the only person up. That's that's an oof. Of course,
but the save point is right next to it.
Right there, but
another example. But another example of Zelfer going with the full party. You didn't have to contend with that though. So, kudos for Zelfer for the big brain stats in this race so far. As he takes out the third statue, so he's going to be on the switches any minute now.
Yeah, Zelfer just a few short seconds away from the final battle. Obviously, going to do a bit of last-minute inventory management. But yeah, to your point, these unorthodox strategies coming into play. Hash does take down Inferno this time around.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Immediately coming in handy.
Yeah, I didn't get that Delta hit this time.
So we know, though of course Hash is not. That's probably the biggest roadblock Kefka's Tower has to offer. We'll handle most likely the Stooges, hopefully the Stooges and the rest of the bosses. Not too much trouble, but this is 22-16 or so, and Zelfer is about to take on Final Kefka in the 4-stage final battle. So, Wolf, you want to break down a little bit of what to expect in this final battle?
Yep, so we'll go stage by stage as we walk up to them. First of all, we have to break down our party, so you want to start with your core 4, and then the rest of them, for the randomizer, don't really matter too much. You might want to put up a 5th one if they kind of leveled them up pretty well, or if it was go with Mimic that can help you out. But at this stage of the game, you two and pick your big four, which apparently he just jumps right in because the first four was just so automatically selected for him. So the first stage of Kefka's Tower, we have Long Arm, which is the arm closest to us, that's hand open. Is susceptible to break and instant death. Terror uses the break and automatically kills that one. Second stage is going to be for a head. The head is susceptible to fire, so that's why we're going to see fire threes flying at the face. And last but not least, we have short arm or the fist, which is the closed fist in the middle of the screen there. That is, you want to kill that last, because if you kill that first, it's going to cause a humongous earthquake, and it's going to basically kill your almost entire party. But AoE fire spells are definitely going to work because the head is susceptible to fire damage. So you can do AoE fire damage knowing that you're going to do more damage to the head than you will to the hand. So, and that's game one in a nutshell.
That is exactly how you take down tier 1 of the final. There's going to be a lot going on as we approach the end of this race, as Zelfer continues to take through Tier 1. Tier 2, of course, has its own host of strategies, as we see Bum Rush once again coming out of Zelfer, doing a cool quad 9 damage.
Just a quick update, doesn't he still not in Kefka's Tower yet? He has not entered it.
Well, as we mentioned off the bat, the top 2 of our Final 4 advance. So there is certainly a chance of both of our on-screen runners making it through to the final and us getting a very spicy rematch. As it is, Zelfer ascends to the second tier of the final battle to take on these 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies, magically named Magic, Tools, Tiger, and Hit, and will hope not to be imped, casting the Raiden Esper to insta-kill, hopefully the middle enemy Tools, who is vulnerable to instant death attacks.
Yep, and Tiger, who's weak against ice damage. So we don't have Ice 3, we do have Ice 2. So you're definitely going to see Ice 2 flying at that. Magic susceptible to Mute. I have not seen Mute come out yet.
We also have a huge stack of Thunder Shields on Hash's screen, which is exactly what he's going to use to chuck at the Spicy Chicken Poltergeist.
Well, Ice Shields, too.
And is in fact going to chuck an Ice Shield as well. Poltergeist is the fire boss and is, important to note, not weak to ice.
No, weak to water.
Will do damage.
Also, just a note on Kefka on K2, which is what we have on Zelfer screen. Blue, or Bluey, which is the guy in the front, or 10 hits. He's actually susceptible to stop. Something we kind of recently learned, or at least I recently learned last week, which has kind of helped with this fight. So you can actually mute magic, instantly kill Tools, stop Bluey. So really all you have to do is just Ice 2, Ice 3, or just slam Tiger, which is the kind of cat underneath the blue guy there. You kill them off, and that's basically all you really have to do with this fight.
That is fascinating. I also did not know that you could stop Hit.
Yeah, we learned that the other day from a stunner proc, believe it or not, causing the stop effect.
Hash checking the validation chest on his way to the Crane Brothers fight. Always love to see that. As Zelfer's jumping Terra, doing a bit of damage. Looks to have Tier 2 pretty well in hand, though really any of these battles in the final battle itself can swing very quickly and sometimes very badly. You can catch a few bad north crosses. You can certainly get wrecked in Tier 3, which Zelfer will be approaching fairly soon, as Magic is triggering its death counters.
I was gonna say, Strago looks stoned there. He's all white. I'm not used to this palette on him. I thought he was turned to stone there for a second.
Yeah, that's just the black and white palette.
Yeah. Wow, Cure 3 healing for 5,000 damage apiece. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we saw Hash getting his money's worth with Bum Rush, had Blitz on Gogo, doing some Gogo style bum rushes. as Zelfer takes down Hit, the blue guy, and will endure his counter, which is 10 hit. Hits him 10 times for some damage, really not much. Zelfer's party, 3,000 hit points or more, except for Strago, who I'm sure can be healed. 2 more as Zelfer ascends to tier 3 on the final tier before final Kefka himself. This is a battle against 2 enemies, Lady and Sleep. Sleep is the reclining fellow, and Lady is the angelic head. Lady, I believe, absorbs all elemental damage and can be damaged by non-elemental damage. Luckily, Atma weapons and Bum Rush are both that, so Zelfer will be targeting the Lady, and once that is down, will be dealing out a bunch of damage to Sleep. We'll want to make sure he has some sort of protection from Sleep's Calmness attack. Saber, what are his options in that regard?
Or what? Sorry.
For Zelfer's Calmness protection, does he have any?
Well, he has Life 3 available.
He has Life 3.
So which is, I guess, the core one. I did not see Fenrir. I did not see Gollum get picked up. I'm going to double check our tracker here. But I did not see either of those. Bismarck rating, Colbrook. Oh,
Well,
Fenrir is out there. Fenrir is out there. It was picked up by Dr. DT. He's the only one that's picked it up. But neither of our runners here has that protection. So, yeah, Life 3 really the only option here.
Yeah, Zelfer hoping to, as you see, actually that's why the Mirage Vest looks to be equipped on Edgar on Zelfer's screen. That's why Edgar has that sort of shimmer. The image status lets you auto-evade physical attacks, which the Calmness attack is. But we'll see what happens as Zelfer is getting there fairly shortly. As Chad is discussing the palettes, there are a wealth of palettes to choose from in Worlds Collide. There are also different sprites, as, Hash got Delta attacked by the Stooges, and that is a stoned Edgar. Hash very quickly healing that. Yes, there are easily over 100 different palettes. There are also different sprites. You can make your characters look all sorts of different ways. It is a very modular and can be a very colorful randomizer. Of course, you can also use the classic colors as well. As, Zelfer doing quad 9s. There's that Calmness attack.
Oh, takes out Cyan. Okay, Cyan, it's not bad. That's not bad. He was probably the 4th person in the group, the 4th wheel.
As we saw, yes, and Edgar's Mirage Vest paid off as well, dodging the second Calmness, as Zelfer is now through to the final tier of the final battle, taking on the Mad Clown, the Crazed Angel, the man who destroyed the world, Kefka himself. At 1 minute 30, almost 31. Should be taking care of this seed pretty shortly. Hash, meanwhile, making use of Genji Glove, offering Atma Weapon Edgar, doing 8 swings, taking down those Stooges. So that is a very, very powerful character Hash has. As we see Bum Rush coming out on Kefka.
Yep, and we have Gogo in the party who can mimic the Bum Rush. Not going to be as strong like you mentioned before, but still should be doing about 3,000 damage. Yep, almost 4,000 damage, actually, on that.
Hey, Bum Rush is still Bum Rush. Jumper Terra has also been doing great work for Zelfer at those high levels that his party is at. Physical damage and sort of fight command damage becomes much, much more powerful. As we see, Terra falling from the sky for big numbers, certainly not the quad 9s we're about to see. And Zelfer is chewing through this Kefka fight.
Yeah, not even using the shields here to break the shields on them. Should be pretty close here on the numbers. It might be a kapow here. Yep, that's a kapow. 132 approximately. We'll get the official time here in a second. The official time is 1:32:14 is the official time. 1:32:14 for our first finalist in Zelfer. And I will say none of our other runners have gotten to the switches yet. So good race out of them.
Very well-run race by Zelfer with a very strong time. Worth pointing out, it is not over for Hash. The top 2 of our 4 runners advance. So Hash still has something to play for. Also has these attacks, as you mentioned, Saberwolf, There's no clear second place leader as yet.
Dr.
So,
DT
still a lot to
just
race
hitting
for,
the
but,
switches
yep.
now. Dr. TT on switches. We do have Zelfer available. We're going to drag him in. Hey, Zelfer, GG on the first place finish on the semifinal. You cruised through that set. How you feeling?
Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I'm feeling pretty good. That went pretty well.
How'd you feel working through that seed?
I felt pretty good for most of it. Was a little worried right before KT. When I had to go back into Ancient Castle, I wasn't exactly happy about that. And then when I decided to play the super safe route and go into KT with my full party the one way, I was like, all right, I kind of need tough bosses to be in this KT. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be in trouble. And every boss I fought, I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I did this. This worked out great. Woohoo.
Yeah, that strategy played
we
amazing for you.
Ran into Inferno and Poltergeist down that center track, or the third-party track, and it made short work of them with your full party. Were there any particular moments working through the seed where you felt, particularly ahead or behind?
Let's see. I was going at a pretty good pace for a while, actually.
You certainly had a very clean run. It was very impressive, and certainly a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, entering Kefka's tower twice before anybody else even hit it once. I mean, you were going at a pretty good clip.
Oh no, yeah. Really? Is that how it went?
The second time you went in the tower was 113.13. The first time any of our other runners went into the tower was 117.30 by Dr. DT on the shortcut.
Oh.
We do have
yeah,
now entering the
like
final battle. Yeah. Well, I think you went to Mount Zozo very early on, and so found Terra certainly much earlier than Hash did. How did that particular check feel to you as you?
I was on cloud 9 after that check. I really was. Got some items, found Terra. I'm like, yes, this worked out
Always
perfectly.
Nice to have Best Girl in the party.
That's right, Best Girl from
the way,
beginning.
Shout out to Hash, who was
come on, Best Girl.
I just noticed Hash has Umaro in his final battle party, so shout out to the Yeti. Yeah, Zelfer. So normalize and distort was one of the big differences in this final flag set. Did you feel like that affected the race very much?
Yes. I mean, I played it very safe. And I purposely play it very safe when normalized distort is on, because you never know what's gonna happen. I know. You didn't see it on my stream, but I know tier 3 might be a problem. Because when he cast Merton, he Mertoned himself for over 3,000, and that means his Meteos are going to hurt over 3,000 too. So if you get hit by Meteo, that's going to be a very bad time. So I was okay, but normalized the story as being a jerk this particular seed. Mark my words.
Well, it's certainly the KT caution, the over preparing, or maybe just preparing well, certainly worked out. You took a fair few dragon fights as well. 4 of them, I think.
I did take 4 of them, yes. So I'm always a fan of taking the dragons. I like to take them. Give me XP. Give me an item from the dragon dropping something. Give me an item from after that too. I'm a big fan. And when I first went into KT, I think I was like level 35-ish after like 2-3 dragons. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I like to take them late in this particular flag set though, and I think that worked out well this time.
Just a quick update off screen here. Sorry, just a quick update here. Dr. DT, 50 seconds ahead of Hash Malum, both on tier 2 Kefka.
Oh boy, so this is actually quite a close race. Hash also in tier 2 as we see him muting magic. So if you don't want to take away from your first place finish, But Saber, do you have any questions for our winner of the semifinal?
So you chose to, I believe you chose to do Burning House to start with. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, I did.
So take me through this. Like, why choose Burning House versus some other possibilities to do some early leveling up before you hit that first boss?
All right. So, out of all the checks we had in the beginning, even though I got Terra, you had Burning House, has fixed encounters to level up as you go, and then get to the end. And the other choice is Leet River, to level up as you go. Otherwise, you gotta take a spot to grind, or just try to fight a boss at level 3.
What
And I'm
about
not a fan of
leader?
either of
What about leader with the Wall of the Soldiers? Would that be an option,
those.
or
That is true. I forgot about that one at the time.
okay?
I was thinking, all right, which has fixed encounters? And I'm just ingrained to have like Burning House has fixed encounters, Leet River has fixed encounters. I forgot Doma Castle. You could just take as many encounters as you want. Worked out in my favor because those
Yeah,
encounters
it
are
did.
level 50s. At Cyan's little castle siege, so that worked out. But I just got lucky. I forgot it.
No worries.
So my chat always makes me go into the Burning House, so I think it's just kind of like instinct at
Oh,
this point, and that's
oh,
really
so it's
what it
chat's
was.
fault.
That's
It's
no fuego.
chat's fault. Is that what you're saying?
It is my chat's fault, or actually, it worked out well
Okay.
for me. So I have to actually thank chat for this one today. Thank you, chat. But yes, chat makes me go on Burning House. It's just instinct at this point.
All right, so shout out to Zelfer's chat there for his win, his pit crew, I guess you could say.
There you go.
Well, so yeah, how does it feel making your way to the final of the Battle Royale?
It feels good. I gotta admit, like every step I go along, every time I'm taking that step, I'm like, this might be the week that I'm finally done. This might be the week, but you know what? We got lucky, and we're making it another week, so we'll take it, I guess. Yeah. Thank you.
You have finished first place in every single round except for last week where you finished second. So you're back in that first place chair as Dr. DT pulling into K3. Just ahead of Hash Malum still.
Yeah, Dr. DT is the one that dethroned me last week too, so
yeah,
it'll be exciting stuff.
Well, you definitely won the day today.
Before we turn our attention back to the race.
No, just thank you guys for doing everything, the commentating. Thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting us and taking us on. I really appreciate it very much. And GG's to all. And I guess I'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you next week, buddy. We're looking forward to it.
Have a good night, everyone.
Indeed. GG.
So just quick update as Hash has picked up 20 seconds. He picked up 20 seconds on K2. So he's closed the gap to 30 seconds behind Dr. DT right now.
Well, that is very exciting as, yes, Hash is now dealing with Tier 3, again, still very much in contention to make it to the final as the top 2 of our 4-way semifinal advance. And Hash, with the Yeeti in the party.
Yeeti hit the girl! He hit the girl! He hit the girl!
It hits Lady for 5K.
Woo!
Hash also pulling out the Life 3 spell, which we mentioned earlier, will give your party members auto raise. So we'll lift them right back up if they get hit by that calmness attack. Hash with only Cure 2, but and Yeti with the Yeet Snipe hits Lady again. Unfortunately, she absorbs all elements, so does get some back from that Merton as Hash going deep into the Blitz bag of tricks, pulling out Mantra for some healing.
Dr. TT's current makeup of his party is Terra, Cyan, Strago, and Sabin. He did find a Sabin. Sabin currently has Shock. He is struggling right now on K3. He just took a wild win. Terra was down, and Strago is only at 5 HP right now.
Wow. Meanwhile, another Yeeti Snipe.
Come on, Yeti. Oh, he's got condemn on him. I guess Sleep's not appreciating those snipes on the girl there. As Life 3 coming out for the Calmness Protection for Hash Malum. Dr. DT, like we mentioned before, does have Fenrir, so he has the Fenrir proc on right now.
Hash probably wants to pick up that Edgar before this tier is done. He's continuing to get Life 3 coverage on his 3 party members that are up.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to sacrifice Edgar here as the Yeti gets healed and throws Strago into Sleep's face for another 5,000 damage.
Yeah, well, again, this elemental defense that we've mentioned throughout this seed coming into play again with so much great gear, particularly as we saw Elemental ignoring or even absorbing gear as, the Condemn counts down on Hash's Yeti, who was immediately picked up with Life 3.
Calmness comes out on Dr. DT's Terra. She goes down, so he's moving on to K4.
Oh, wow. As Hash getting hit hard by these Meteo attacks from Sleep, the last stage of this boss, and certainly the most dangerous boss, with these very powerful meteors from the sky that come down on you. Want to take care of this. Of course, the Thunder Shields.
Oh, Thunder Shield coming out now. So forget the Bone Rush or anything. We're just going to Thunder Shield. Calmness gets blocked by the Yeti. Yeti is the all-star right now.
By the Chad Yeti. Umaru says, not today, Sleep. I'm going to the final battle. I'm going to Final Kefka.
48 seconds now behind Dr. DT right now. Lost that little advantage he got on K2, unfortunately.
Well, I think Hash is going to want to chuck that stash of Thunder Shields he has.
Oh, he has a lot of Thunder Shields. I think that's what everybody's using. Except for the Yeti. Yetis are going to keep throwing people in his face.
Yeah, let Umaru do Umaru things. As Kefka comes down, Hash's party is active in a very, very tight race to qualify for the finals of the Battle Royale tournament.
Actually, I'm staying corrected. I stand corrected. I'm sorry. Hash Malum's actually ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't look at the timers. He is actually, in fact, ahead. Thank you to our tracker for bringing my attention to the actual clock on their screens. He's actually ahead by 40 seconds, not behind 40 seconds.
Hash getting hit by the Fallen 1 attack, lowering all of his character's hit points to 1. Mega Elixirs them back to full, and will continue bludgeoning
the Thunder Train.
Thunder Shields. Yeah. Feeling the thunder.
Yeah, this is coming down to the wire. Hash Malum, Dr. DT, doesn't he just giving up, and doesn't he still struggling through Kefka's tower, so he is not to Kefka yet. So we're down to a one-on-one race between Hash Malum and Dr. DT.
Look at that. The Atma weapon.
Genji Glove.
Combo. That's like...
Oh no!
Ultima comes out. The ultimate attack.
Does he double it up? Oh, jeez, he took out 3 of them!
Oh, Cyan barely.
Can he get the elixir up? Okay, he's charging up. He's got a few moments to try to get as many party members as he can up. I don't think he has life 2. So he might just have to press on from this goner and just try to get him up after the fact.
Well, with 4,000 hit points, he's going to survive this goner attack. What's he going to do next? Might just try to sprint over the finish line. A few more shields.
We'll see how much damage Gunner does. No!
Oh no!
Oh, he has life 3. He has still life 3 from the previous round from the calmness protection. So Cyan is still up.
That was a huge hit. That's normalize and distort right there, showcasing its fangs, and this meteor attack takes down Cyan. Again, he is annihilated at Kefka, at Final Kefka. That is... there's no other words for it. That is brutal. That is a really, really tough wipe.
And Dr. DT does finish Final Kefka 147.56. So this race is unfortunately over for Hash Malum, finishing Yeah, this finishes the race, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, there we go. I mean, that was a. That's how she goes sometimes in Worldwide. That is why, as we mentioned, the strategy, the layers of preparation and knowledge that go into the final battle, because it can turn on a dime like that. Hash was honestly just a few thousand damage from the finish line, I'd imagine. But that's why Kefka's such a jerk, you know? That's why we're always trying to beat him up in these Worlds Collide seeds. Because he, he ruins the world and then he casts Ultima on you. That said, everything up until that point was very enjoyable with Hash Malum. Ran a very, very clean race. Certainly had nothing to feel bad about. Really, kind of got kicked in the teeth with that with those Kefka counters. Sure, Kefka always has a chance to cast Ultima. Always do it, but that's how it goes. Saber, do you think we might a chance for an interview right at the end here with our
I am. Yeah, I'm chatting him on Discord right now. We're gonna see if we can try to pull him in. Hash is interested, so we're gonna try to get him. And Dr. DT will be as well, so we'll try to pull him in as soon as they get on. So again, this was our semi-final for the Battle Royale. So next week, we will be seeing Zelfer versus Dr. DT. It's these two have finished 1 and 2 last week. They finished 1 and 2 this week. So yeah, I guess it was in the cards for these two. It was destined for these two to meet in the final as they keep going back and forth in the series.
Well, and that's exactly how it should be, shouldn't it? I mean, both Zelfer and Hashmalum have had, or sorry, Dr. DT, though Hashmalum as well, have had fantastic tournaments, putting in really solid times against very stiff competition. So they have definitely proved their worth in this battle royale, and it will be a very exciting grand final to watch.
Yep, and just a couple of notes as we wait for our racers to join us here in chat. A couple things that happened off screen was that on Doesn't and Dr. DT, they actually wiped at the Three Stooges. Doesn't says Doesn't not going to join us. Chat said that was pretty much the end of his seed, was trying to get through the Three Stooges there. So, but we do have Hash Malum, who was one of our on-stream runners. GG, tough break there at the end for you. Kefka just didn't have in the cards for you.
Yeah, I was really waffling between taking Go-Go and the Yeti. I knew the Yeti would be some quick, good damage, and he had better equipment. I mean, Go-Go was one hit from pretty much anything but thunder, so I went with Umaro, and then he procced the Ultima, and yup.
Well, Yeti tried to pull it out for you. He was actually aiming for a girl. He hit her a couple times with 5,000, and he actually blocked a columnist there, too.
I know. So I did want to bring him, and I knew he was a good pick, but as long as Kefka didn't Ultima me, I was fine.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
As long as he doesn't do that one thing, yeah.
Yeah,
well, you're
exactly.
certainly the people's champion for your loyalty to the Yeti, and he definitely served you well.
It's not like I had a whole lot of options.
That, yeah.
Those characters, that was just a crap seed all around.
How else do you feel about... Sorry, what was that?
I said that was a crap seed all around. I mean, it was super hard. Strago was my carry the whole time with tier 2 magic. Other than the Yeti carrying me through all the bosses. I mean, I didn't finally get an offense until the very end there with when we got enough levels to go get Bum Rush and start using the Atma weapon.
Yeah, did not see a lot of tier 3 magic at all, really.
Yeah, I finally got Fire 3, but I don't think I even learned it.
Right, that's right at the end, yeah. Had Blitz Strago, though. What's not to love about Blitz Strago?
His stats are terrible.
Any seed with Bum Rush can't be a bad seed.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
as long
you
as
would
you
know.
can get it. I had to take quite a few grind fights to get up to level 42 to go get it, but I knew it'd be worth it.
Did you have a particular strategy in mind, particularly around normalize and distort, the one big change in this flag set as you entered the race and were working through it?
Yeah, the one thing was just go prepared. Don't go until your levels are in the 40s and you have viable offense on everybody. So that's why at the end of Ancient Castle, I knew my last character was at Gogo's check, which wouldn't have any fights. So I was like, well, let's take off the Moogle Charm real quick, see if there's any experience here. And then all of the guys gave great experience and gold. So I just made sure I was ready.
Now, when you play through a seed and you see these big time bosses like Guardian, Goddess was like the first one you saw in the whole entire entire race. You also Doom, I think, was mixed in there somewhere. When you see those big time end game bosses really early in the seed, does that make you feel a little more comfortable? It's like maybe Kefka's Tower won't be so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see all of them, so there was Poltergeist and Stooges and Inferno. I mean, there were still quite a few nasty bosses. It's always good not having Goddess in the mix for sure. She gets really tough at the end there. And the Behemoths,
Yeah,
actually.
you did
They
collect
learned
the
Ultima.
statue. Yeah. What was your strategy, if any, around sort of taking dragon fights and leveling through that? Because you took a few.
It took a lot. Yeah, I fought 4 dragons. That's the most I've ever fought, which increased scaling quite a bit, but I just wasn't finding experience. I even went and did Burning House, which monsters there gave no experience, so I just was really struggling to get my levels to where I wanted them to be.
Unfortunately, we're unable to get our other 2 racers into our little voice chat here, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yep.
Well, GG to Zelfer with a crazy good time for ND.
Well, Zelfer went into Kefka's Tower at 101.55, went through the entire middle channel with his full team, then bounced back out, got the bum rush, then re-entered Kefka's Tower at 113.13, which was still 4.5 minutes before anybody else entered it the first time. And yeah, he was already like level 46 or something at that point.
Nicely done.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
he definitely put on a clank tonight.
My routing was bad.
Question from chat for you, Hash. How did it feel to wipe to Doomgaze's level 5?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was really frustrating. Especially, that's like, I hate that check, as you could see on the stream. I did every other check before going and doing Edgar's checks, because I hate them so much. And that one in particular, you have this super long walk before you fight a boss. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't have any save point or anything before that. And so if it's a hard one, you lose a ton of time, which is exactly what happened. So, and that was one reason why I took so many dragons too, because I was like, well, crap. Well, let's go get some levels. I don't want to fight mobs. Let's go kill a quick dragon that's super close, and then we'll go back to Doomgaze. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to do that on stream for everybody's enjoyment.
Yeah, it's like that pop quiz math test and you fail it there. It just feels bad. A couple of things to note for you.
You didn't advance, but had a fantastic tournament, making it all the way to the semifinal, the final 4. How do you feel about the Battle Royale as a whole?
I loved it until we got to Normalize and Distort. I feel like that completely changed the feel of the seeds. I'm a huge fan of the Battle Royale flag set, but I just think Normalize and Distort, I don't know, maybe it was fun to watch, maybe it's great for spectator purposes, but it's not my favorite flag set. It just ups the randomness too much. Like, you don't know what to expect. On a normal Kefka, I think I would have been totally fine going in with where I went in. I think Ultima would have hit for like 2,000 damage, not 4,000 damage.
That is true.
So, and it could have been less. It could have been a 1,500 with Normalize and Distort. They don't always get that much stronger. It's randomized, favoring the stronger side, but
yeah,
I went in and I should have been good, and I wasn't because of Normalize and Distort.
No, you chose the right path on that goner that hit you there, as we are able to get some of our other runners in here in a minute. But we'll finish up with a hash melon first before we bring in our other 2 runners that were off stream. But no, you made the right decision of just saying like, okay, well, Gunner's coming up. It should only do about 3,000 damage. I have about 4,000 health. Let me just brave this damage, and then I'll start getting my group up because you don't have life too. So you did make the right choice. It's just, yeah, that distort naturalized thing. That just buffed the damage so high.
Yep.
So I don't blame
exactly.
you for. Nobody blames you for that.
I think Kefka was just a couple thousand hit points away, especially if he cast Meteor on me. So yeah, I really think it just came down to throwing a Thunder Shield instead of an Elixir to heal him, because then he just died anyway. So if I had just thrown the Thunder Shield instead, I probably would have won. So, or at least got second, right?
Well, GG's to you. You basically get third on this run, and yep, good luck to you in the next racing series, bud.
Oh, thanks.
Great, and well, I think that... Oh, we do have one more racer joining us. Is that Dr. DT there?
Yep, we have Dr. DT and Doesn't D joining our chat now. Now, you two, of course, were off stream, so we'll have a little bit more of a radio talk about on what happened. But both of you actually got the shortcut before getting into Kefka's Tower. But first, overall, how did the seed feel you now that we have the distort normalize on from that we didn't have on the prior races to this?
I strongly dislike normalize and distort. I think
yeah, it really throws off. It really throws off all your intuitions about what you're able to deal with and what you're not.
My main gripe with it is less that it throws off like intuition. I can sort of deal with things being a little off, but my main issue is just that it affects Final Kefka. It affects the magic power of tier 3 and 4, which it can nearly triple the damage that Meteor prints. So if you go in without putting obscene amounts of HP on, you are putting yourself at extreme risk.
Yeah, which we
taking a 15-minute loss because tier 3 used Meteor.
Well, we did see that too in this race, which unfortunately Hash Malum met up with, getting a 5,000 damage Ultima, wiping out 3 of his 4 party members, followed up by a Goner that also did over 5,000 damage after that.
Yep.
So, yes, you are right about that.
Yeah, I intentionally played very conservatively, taking lots of experience. I forced the skip so that I would get more experience to get more HP on and get my offense to the point where I could do a Meteor skip, but then I just got gated by Stooges.
Yeah, those were my thoughts exactly. I did a couple of practice seeds this week before, just to prepare for this, see what it was like, and in both of them, and in this actually, I felt like I just kind of cruised through the first part of the game, and then I got into Kefka's Tower and got, sucker punched in 5 different ways. So in this one, it was the Stooges for me too. Doesn't he? I saw that you had Cyan going the Stooges route. I had the same deal. So ultimately, it just took me. I think they Delta hit Cyan 2 times in a row.
They always do that. A specific amount of time into the fight, any one of them will try to Delta hit.
Yeah, so the only way I got through it was decking out my secondary characters with enough elemental protection to survive long enough to throw a soft, and then quick abuse. And eventually I got through it, but it was a slow slog.
I could have gotten through it if I hadn't sold my ribbons, like an idiot, but I wanted Thunder Shields.
Well, Zelfer's solution to the matter was entering Kefka's Tower the first time at 1 minute and 1 hour 1 minute into the race, getting his full four-person squad to cut all the way up through the middle section of the map, including the Inferno, which was the vanilla. So digging out all those 3 bosses and getting a dragon, warping out, getting Bum Rush, going back into Kefka's Tower 1 hour 13 minutes into the race, still 4 minutes ahead of the next person that got in the Kefka's Tower, and then finishing off the seed at 132.14.
Did he get the skip the second time?
No, he did not have skip on either of those entries.
Jeez. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that, but
then he split his party into 2 and 2 to get the other 2 statues.
Full party on the third track and taking down those bosses was a big help to Zelfer, as you can imagine, having the full party for Inferno, for Poltergeist, And for
Yeah,
Stooges,
sure.
right? That was all the center track?
Yeah, that was the center track, and he had the full party for all those. And he added the dragon on top of that.
Yeah, my whole plan was over prepare. I went for the skip intentionally this time because I was like, that many more bosses, that many more levels, that much more damage, that much more HP, and hope that that's enough to get me by. I hope the bosses in KT are easy enough that Zelfer's just going to lose time doing that strategy, but guess not. Guess it really worked out for him.
So it goes in the Worlds Collide randos.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you
You certainly both had fantastic tournaments, so I just want to give a shout out to that. Congratulations on making it to the semifinal and for putting up some great performances throughout that. How have you both felt about the Battle Royale tournament and your journey through it?
It was interesting.
With the caveat of normalize and distort being garbage, I feel like this flag set in general is really fun for racing. I feel like it really puts you on the balance between going fast and doing just one more thing to get a little bit more safety. I feel like it walks that line really well.
Yeah, I think it's a good flag set. I just think normalize and distort is kind of a garbage flag. And I also have my reservations about single elimination, but that's just me.
Well, it is certainly it can be a very rude flag. You're not wrong about that.
I say garbage lovingly.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, it was a close race for
Let's
you.
save any more questions for our runners? Yeah.
Well, I was going to mention one thing for you, Dr. DT. It was neck and neck. You and Hash Malum were side-by-side racing going all the way through Kefka's Tower. Because our tracker did remind me that Hash Malum's clock was actually ahead of yours, not behind yours. So you guys were neck and neck the whole way through up till K4.
Oh, wow.
So that was a very, very close race. He just got the unfortunate Yeti proc into Ultima with of course, the distort flag on, dealing 5,000 damage to his entire party.
I told him
and just kind of wiped on that.
This was lesson number 1 from this week was you can trust Yeti in the early game, but you cannot trust Yeti in the late game.
Well, Yeti was an MVP for him on tier 3 actually. Yeti hit girl. He threw and hit girl for 5,000 damage a pop.
Yeti was sniping lady with the yeets.
And he blocked a calmness too. So with no calmness protection at all.
I will say that Yeti was absolutely ridiculous, and I'm kind of sad that I wasn't on the mainstream because my early game was probably very entertaining.
Always fun to see the Yeti carry. You both took on Magi Master, right?
Yep,
that's
very
right.
early.
Nice and easy Magi Master.
I love an early Yeti against an early Magi Master.
I mean, it's almost completely free because Umara had women's clothing on.
And GP Rain helps out there. You can pummel a bit if you want. Yeah. Easy Magi Master. I like it that way.
Yep.
Also, Hash Malin had an early goddess. That was his first check on leader, was a goddess. So he got goddess without really doing much of any kind of spells or anything.
Ditto.
Yeah, that's right. You did too. So
That's my second.
Yep.
After Burning House, though, so probably much later in real time.
Well, do we have any more thoughts from our runners about the race, about the tourney?
I'm good.
I am shocked to be in this position. I'm really pumped to be going into the finals. And GG's many thanks to my friends in the Spicy Chicken Pod. Shout outs to you. Thank you, all of the GG's to you, Dozen.
GG, congrats on making finals.
Thank you.
Hey, Doctor, don't sell yourself short. You did finish first last week in that 7-way quarterfinal we had. So don't sell yourself short there.
Absolutely.
I was shocked then too.
You have definitely improved.
Yeah, well, I mean, thanks for the inspiration, doesn't it? I literally back last summer when we were in the ladder, I would literally analyze some of your races to figure out how I could get better. So yeah, thanks a ton.
And doesn't shout out to you too, because you were the only person to go under 1 hour 14 minutes during the entire series, and you did it twice. So you yourself is also an awesome racer throughout the series.
Thank you.
Well, I think that will more or less do it for us here on our Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Battle Royale tournament. Saber, any final words?
Just a quick congratulations to our 2 finalists now. It's Zelfer versus Dr. DT. Stay tuned for when and where we're going to be streaming that for you all. And and GG's to our all our semifinalists, Doesn't and Hash Malum as well. And thank you, SpeedGaming, for having us and hosting our great semifinal that we had for you all.
Yeah, thank you, SpeedGaming.
And once and for all, before we tag off here, want to give a quick shout out to my fellow commentator, Fantastodon, our tracker, Schwans, work in the background, following this up, and making sure we had all our stats and everything. I am Saberwolf. Thank you, and have a good night.